Did you grow up in a two-parent household?
Nah, I had a stepdad and shit. Like my real dad, like he was into the drugs and shit too. So, you know, growing up and shit, my dad was always locked up. So, I mean, he locked up right now. So that shit, I mean, he was in and out. You know, he was seeing me when he could and shit, but he was back and forth in and out of jail and shit. And I mean, he's still to this day locked up. So, I mean, it was mostly my mom for the most part.
Even though you have a stepfather, even though he is in and out of the system and currently locked up, do you still maintain a relationship with him throughout your life? Do you still correspond with him? Do you still...
Yeah. I mean, I still correspond with him, but, you know, he tried to come, he want me to come visit him and shit like that, but it's like, I don't be trying to see that shit. My dad locked up and shit, so I don't go visiting for real, but I correspond with him. I talk to him on the phone, I write him letters and shit.
Have you expressed this? Have you told him why you don't go visit?
I mean, he know the reason for real. He know how I feel about the situation. You know, I ain't gotta, you know, explain this, you know, but it's just, he know how that go. Like, his son ain't trying to see that shit for real.
He's locked up currently. Is this his longest bid that he's actually served?
Yeah.
And are you able to share for what?
Drugs, guns, high-speed chases, shit like that. Like,
state prison?
Yeah.
And how long has he been on this bid for at this point?
Since he's been locked up, he probably around his 5th year right now.
I imagine that was pretty tough for you to deal with.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you this, because you do have a parent that did time in prison and was in and out. Always state prison, I imagine.
Right.
Aside from the stepfather in your life, was there ever another male figure, even on his side, that was in your life?
My older brothers and shit, they was. Like I said, I got a brother in Jamaica. I mean, my family big for real. Like my mom, she got 14 kids. So, I mean, I had a lot of brothers and shit that, you know, always looked out for me. They was pretty rough on me, you know, trying to get me into sports and shit and keep my head on straight. But, you know, growing up in the area that shit was kind of hard.
When your father would come out of the prison system and he would come back into your life, would he treat you like father, son, parent, child relationship, or did that relationship change into more like a friend to friend type of relationship? I've heard some of these things happening where, you know, I want to say the best way to describe this, where the element of the relationship kind of changes, the perspective of the relationship kind of changes. Maybe it starts off as parent-child, but now it's more like I'm your best friend, or I'm a friend type of relationship instead of the parent-child scenario, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anybody to get locked up.
I guess does the dynamic of the relationship change when he gets out and tries to come back in your life?
Yeah, because it's like that person been away from you for a minute, so it's like you don't know how to react when he actually like there, and then it's fucked up because, you know, like later on down the road, even if you come close to him, like he gonna be gone again. So that shit, it make you, you know, kind of resenting, like I don't want to even start that type of relationship with you because your ass gonna be gone. So it's like, it was more like a kind of like a friendship type thing, but then it was times where he was out and I'm like, yeah, I'm about to try this, like we about to be this tight, and then it's like you turn around and motherfucker gone again, like. So it's like a friendship for real, and it's like he can't really do nothing for me that I can't do for myself at that point. So it's like I can do for him more, like I was helping him and shit, like.
How do you look at you know, the choices he's made in his life of being in the streets and being in and out of the system. Overall, is there resentment on your end of how things played out in his life and your life, or is it more understanding?
I mean, it's resentment there, but not for real, because even though it's my dad, like, it's shit that we grew up around anyway. Like I said, I got friends that's doing, longer time than he is, for murders and shit. So it's shit like you resent it, but then it's like you don't for real because you used to it. Even if it is your pops, like you don't look at it different because you already know like that's what we all was around. Like that's what we grew up and shit with. So I mean, it's times where you be like, damn, like, but that's my dad. Like, why he doing that type of shit? Like, don't he want to be, hearing shit? But it's like, you know how it go. Like, you grow up and you do your own shit.
So it's kind of like a mixture of both.
Right.
It's like 50-50.
Right.
And I've done interviews with people where it's one versus the other. There is resentment. Why'd you choose that to make money and now you're not in our life because you chose that route. And then another perspective is understanding. You took those chances to provide food on the table so we can survive. So I've heard both perspectives before. I was just curious on how you looked at things.
Right, like it's that shit. I respect. I say my mom more because she was the one. When he away, she got to come up with it. Like she got to feed all of us and shit. So I respect her more for that. And it's like I resent him, but then I know how the game go. Like I already know, what he did, why he did it. And it's not that he was necessarily doing it, to not help us, but it's like, okay, when we get to this point, like you're supposed to stop that shit, but it's like you already in it. So it's like you can't stop the shit.
Let's say somebody's watching this interview, hearing your story, and maybe they're in a similar situation. They have a parent that's doing time. They're incarcerated. They're in prison. Obviously, circumstances could be different for everybody, but is there something you would say to somebody watching this that's in a similar predicament there? Parent in and out of prison, parent doing time, and they got to deal with that.
I mean, shit, don't let that shit stop you. Like, that shit ain't stopped me. Like, I'm doing way better than I was back then. Like, the shit that I went through with him, the shit I went through with friends and shit that's locked up, anybody, like, that shit push you and make you want to do something better. Like, it forced you to grow up, at an early age, like, and you get your shit together, you get your shit done. And then it's like, when they come home, like they see everything that you got, everything that you done did, like everybody talking about you, everybody, you the main attraction shit when they get home. So it's like they proud about this shit. It's like you gotta make them come home and be like, damn, like I fucked up, like I wasn't there, now he got this, like, but I mean that shit just make you better for real.